Going across the ride, go forever change your life. Strap your seatbelt, nigga, and get ready for this flight. Yeah, on flights, on flights. That's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. In the trap house, I be working fiends that I be serving. Got them in the sky like they was surfing. Yeah, on flights, on flights. That's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. Take your girl behind the curtains. Evil spirits lurking and she got the pretty bitches talking. Yeah. I'm the man in the streets. I'ma tell you now, pilot man on the beach. And I ain't from this planet, I got planet like a plan. If I fell off the sky, I would never land on my feet, yeah. What you mean? Y'all dirty and I'm like, but shit is crystal clear. Just open up your eyes, I hope you niggas see. There's one a bigger ocean than you wanna see, damn. Where we floating? Yeah. Just thought I had a thought this shit was Hermes. I got voices in my ear sounding like Burmese. Like you heard me, playboy, when you living in the water, coming like a mermaid, yeah. Sign shit. Yeah, you know you living like sometimes that ain't right. Disappearing out of place, I just think I'll get high. Hey, place, Archangel Uriel, oh God, I'ma bring light, nigga. On flights, on flights, that's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. In the trap house, I be working things that I be serving. Got them in the sky like they was surfing, yeah. On flights, on flights, that's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. Take your girl behind the curtains. Evil spirits lurking and she got the pretty bitches talking, yeah. The pilot man, you know the coolest folk, yeah. Might pull up in a fucking UFO. You niggas need to watch your UFO. Don't give a flying fuck about who you know. No mistletoe, but she be missing me, yeah. We'll be together, now this shit complete. Do all the drama, we be sipping tea. And then she gonna let me hit them cheeks. Your girl gon' shake that ass, yeah. Your girl gon' make that cash, yeah. Your girl gon' bring it back, yeah. You know I'm gon' make it last, yeah. I'm checking that she got some common sense, got some good head. But she ain't really got no scholarship, but she get bread. And she ain't really with that partnership, just cause she dance. Her kids like grandma's or they father crib. Twinkle little stars lit, yeah. All of us is high, you might think we falling from the sky. Goddamn, mine says all up in your mind. If you wanna see the seas, it'll water up your eyes, yeah. You got no current, who exhausted all your vibes. The reason why you calling all the time, just a lost spirit. You ain't got no hobby or a crime. Why I'm the best rapper out of all of them alive. And you know that on flights, on flights, that's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. In the trap house, I be working fiends that I be serving. Got them in the sky like they was surfing, yeah. On flights, on flights, that's on flights. I put that on flights. Flight boss, bitch. Take your girl behind the curtains. Evil spirits lurking and she got the pretty bitches talking, yeah.
How your dreams get shattered, and how you ain't got no more hope and stuff like that. You ain't want to go to church, but you had to hear the church drums and the hats and the steam in your mad, your self-esteem went somewhere and confused doggy cat hearing something that the human trying to say don't understand. There's a lot of like that whole fears of realities on its own. It's a whole universe, multiverses, outcomes and circumstances. Saying real stuff. Real stuff. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And what further than that. And the moon is in Scorpio, so all of us is going through some transitional energy. Now, what I always tell y'all, the moon is debilitated in Scorpio, so you know we all may have a hard time expressing these things. But at the same time, that's what we're gonna be focused on. We're gonna be focused on some type of internal transformation and try to carve it out just right so it can be ready to be brought to the surface. Here's the thing: don't get too excited. You could be the lower octave planting bad seeds. You get this emotional thing that you try to formulate and to bring it to the surface and be like, I still got that grudge. I still got that guilt. I still got that insecurity. I still got that bad habit. Hey, it's gonna stay down there. Let me create some other thing around it and stuff to make it seem like, hey, I don't do that no more. Let me create something around this to make it seem like, hey, the people around me don't even know I do that at all. Hey, let me create something around this. I'm toxic. You know what I said? That should be the first one. right there. Like, you probably didn't know. If you keep going and don't realize you're toxic, you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 self and sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? So, but once you get to 9, it's self sabotage, all the letters and self sabotaging. So you want to be careful right now with the internal energies, because we ain't in the Sun and Sagittarius no more. So you ain't got to think about Carrie Hilson. Anna J. Oh, sad. So at some point you gotta figure out right now. Don't get thrown. It's real easy to get thrown right now due to the fact of you diving in real deep. Scorpio, root chakra, Mars on its lower octave on a spin cycle that we call nighttime when it's not on the spin cycle of the water chakra in the headspace that we call Aries time. So when we see that same position, that same distance at a different position though, below the horizon, we get Scorpio. The nighttime of the water cycle of the atmosphere of Mars. Now, as a spirit, utilizing all your chakras, right now, as above, all of us is being forced to be in the Mars one, but spent down on the root chakra of it, and the transition of that is what they're calling Pluto. So we're seeing a red shift, and this is where they're pulling out the allegory of what it means for something to die or transition or to be reborn, aka the sun from spring going into the fixated portion of fall. So it can get ready to go to its mutable portion, Sagittarius, transformation, Holy Ghost, to arise or ascend or just or fall or go below as the crown, and when it goes into Capricorn Christmas season. You know what I'm saying? So peep gang. So it's telling you that these words are just being utilized for different transitions of each water cycle, and then they call it the dead planet or whatever like that. It's just the water expanded more distant once we start to experience distance, aka wintertime, via geographical location. So each geographical location going to need its calendar. Or would be no such things as time zones. What's that? So look, gotta pick gang, you know what I'm saying? Don't get spookism on everything. Understand stuff is in reality first. You just got a bunch of humans creating something out of it, and then people get lost with the wrong interpretation, and then that's the creation of spookism. But look, for the most part, we got the sun in Capricorn, we got the moon in Scorpio. So we're gonna be now. This is what the world look like, what the sun is in, but what is influencing it, or the internal energies, is going to be the moon, and that's going to be Scorpio. So since I just broke down what Scorpio archetype is based on, and the moon actually falls here, at any time a planet fall is in a position of it being sleep. Anytime a planet is away, is not at home court, it's debilitated or it's at work. Anytime a planet is exalted, it is in its most exciting moment that it wants to do. Anytime a planet is at home, it could be mundane, comfortable. It could have small blemishes of excitement or small blemishes of being able to release depression. But for the most part, it's still in its equilibrium space, regardless of the negativity or positivity. Grace will be gave after the outcome. Now, here's the thing. When we start to talk about looking at these things like actually people, when a planet is away or debilitated, look at that like an individual at work, where you still got all your good gifts and attributes, but all of them can't be used based upon the position it's in at the moment. You're not at home, you're at work. So you can't do everything that you will naturally do at work, that you would naturally do at home, that you would do at work. Yet you still have to use your qualities at work in other areas. So you may still have to do something that you know how to do at a time you don't want to do it, which built frustration. And that's the kind of quality when you have a planet in your chart in its debilitated place. And for the moon, that will be pardon me. For the moon, that would be the debilitations of the moon. So exalted moon is Taurus. The moon being away is in Capricorn. That'll be the concept of if you have this type of energy and things of that nature. A lot of times you have to learn how to work on your emotional state. You have to learn how to build your status and things of that nature when it comes to how you feel, and not feeling like these things have to be restricted, or going through a lot of situations where you have learned that you have to create boundaries, because being restrictionless a lot of times created a lot of turmoil or hardship. So the moon being in Capricorn plays out as the type of quality that I'm talking about also. That's where it's debilitated at. But any planet and the energy that it is in its debilitated position, it plays out the qualities like if an individual is at work and they got to do things that they don't necessarily want to do, but they still have to use their qualities because they're there for a main goal. So a planet is in a position for that main goal. You just may get frustrated with the goal it entangle. And you know, when you lack getting sufficient on that goal, you might not be able to cash in no check, esoteric currency, receive attention, or ground yourself in that area the right way. And so you can start to feel comfortable with that energy in a much more sufficient manner. When a planet is in its fallen position, this is when it's sleep. So it could play out as like home, just in a lower octave way. So, you know, it could play out like over exaggerating energy, where it think it could do more of that planet than it actually can, and over exhaust itself. Sometimes it wake up on the side of the bed and feel like it don't have any of that energy at all, and feel like it have to retreat anytime that energy is expected within a scenario within their life. Then it can be extremely mundane. They let things come and go, negative and positive, and it can play out as being passive or not taking responsibility for things, and not even knowing that's what's actually going on, until some fire gets set up under their butt to make them realize reality is sitting there. And then that's how it can play out when a planet is in a fallen position. And that's what we are experiencing right now with the emotional state with the moon. So some of us may wake up and feel like we could do everything that's on our heart chakra, our heart space, what we emotionally feel, and we may over exaggerate that excitement or that trauma or that guilt or that resentment in some way, because you know, Scorpio energy can make a person hold on to a feeling that accumulate like an iceberg in water, that turns into what we call in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as holding on to a grudge. So you might develop grudges during this particular time too, if you're not doing no emotional intelligence. Also, also, when it comes to it's the moon being here. Now, a lot of us may wake up on one side of the bed and feel like that we don't have no emotional energy to give. We don't have no energy to express. We don't have we might be looking at what we might need to conceal and keep hidden, based upon observing the situations we went through and felt like we gave too much to a certain degree. And it might be other energies where you just feel like you need to recharge and retreat and go through some form of transformation also, so you could develop some new passion or motivation or desire, or develop some courage to go for a current passion that you probably have been discouraged on, based upon whatever the setback may have been, all the way down to your bad habits. And it may be situations where people wake up on the side of the bed of not knowing how they feel about themselves at all, and needing the external world to react and respond to them in a certain way to know how to construct something. That would be like the mundane energy. And then, you know, sometimes if you get too far into that, you end up into reactionary energy, where you're only responding. And for the most part, you will allow the environment and people, places, and things to bring things out of you that ain't truly you, and you will still feel uncomfortable out of the situation. So when a situation calls for you to be negative, you think you have to be negative. When the situation calls for you to be positive, you think you have to be positive, and that's how you get taken advantage of on that end. And that's when you'll do a mistake or something you may regret the next day. Someone take you over on a lower octave end, if the situation requires for you to be negative, and you allow the external situation to influence you to be negative also. So you have to be careful on that end too, with the moon and Scorpio. A lot of people are going to be dumping their toxic on other people, and you have to know that like 90% of the world, that's kind of how they conduct their relationships, trauma bonded, but in a highly unhealthy way. And you have to make sure that you don't even involve yourself, so you don't have to take yourself through an unnecessary transformation. What's that? For an example, thank you so much for the donation, David Chatty. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. But for an example, you know what I'm saying? It may be a situation where, how do you guys, you said, is there any template for wisdom? No, ain't no template for wisdom. Wisdom is experience. You gain wisdom based off experience. If a person is knowledgeable off fixing tires, 9 times out of 10, the person, whoever they teaching, can kind of think to themselves, oh, this person must have worked at a car lot. So it ain't gonna be no template that person can do with astrology or nothing for them to learn how to teach somebody how to fix tires and fix tires for themselves. And even if it was a template, the template will be just the instructions for them to still have to go through the experiences to have the wisdom. And so you have to obtain the knowledge and then go through the experience, and the experience brings the wisdom. Because at this point, I'm starting to think your whole train of thought is wrong. Your whole way of thinking about things is wrong. Because like, when we talk about wisdom, that's just a word we use for being knowledgeable of a subject. So when you say, is there a template on wisdom on what? So you might not even know what you asking. You got to know what you asking. That when you say, is there a template to wisdom, let's say I was pandering and I actually gave you a template for wisdom. For you to even take it, you'll be a fool. Because in your own mind, you got to consider wisdom on what? Wisdom itself ain't nothing. Wisdom is a word we use when a person is well versed or experienced in something. So we would say that person has wisdom based upon what they expressed in of what they're well knowledgeable about. Saying, is there a template for wisdom? Wisdom ain't something. So whatever template I give you, that's how you have wisdom and common sense. You should know that yourself. Whatever template I give you, what is you using it for? If you think wisdom is something. Thank you so much for the donation, Phoenix 369. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. You got to think to yourself. What do you think wisdom is? Question that to yourself first, and then you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. You said infrared blanket will help with inflammation a lot. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm into that. But yeah, you gotta think about what you questioning when you say, what is there a template for wisdom? Now, before you even ask for the template, think about wisdom, and think about what do you mean when you say wisdom, and then you will start to realize how it kind of like confusing a little bit. So you can't use things to help you with doing something. You just got to do it. These things is just intellect and being knowledgeable of possibilities. It ain't nothing you can use to make up whatever you're trying to do and be lazy. They're just kind of lazy a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Once you gain knowledge of something, for an example, I gave you knowledge of what wisdom is. It just means being experienced in something. So that's the knowledge. Now you still got to go be experienced in something to gain wisdom of it. Now that points you to the actual real question. What do you want wisdom on? Because wisdom ain't something you can get as a template. But you can get a template to know what you want to do. And once you do it, you develop wisdom from it. You start knowing how to do it all the time. And stuff like that. That's the best way I can explain it. I appreciate the donation for the Bob Art, though, David Chatty and Phoenix 369. Now let's check this out. But if you worded it the wrong way, I'm going live tonight on the Ratchet channel. So if you probably misquote what you was trying to explain, then you could just say it in the live stream on the main channel. All right. When we get into Moon opposing Jupiter, Now, with Moon opposed to Jupiter, we might feel negligent or guilty or ashamed by wanting to stand on some business, being or having stability, security, or support, or having some form of consistency in some way. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you might feel guilty due to the fact of whatever emotionally you're dealing with and needing to deal with that before these things. And for the most part, that'd be like Scorpio emotions, us being in that vehicle running in the opposite direction of, pardon me, what we may need to expand on as far as Taurus qualities. We might need to expand on our stability, security, or being patient, or planning, or structure, or consistency in some way, shape, or form. And when we start to talk about expanding in that area, that might take us away from that small period of time of we need to transform or recharge or something like that. So, if you planted a bunch of bad seeds, you might find yourself experiencing being mentally, emotionally, and physically fatigued during this time, where mentally is this thinking and emotionally. That's mentally, but at the same time, mentally and emotionally fatigued. Where your thoughts, you don't feel like thinking too much more about the situation. Your feelings, you don't feel too much about reacting to the situation anymore. And then for the most part, when you're thinking, you're adjusting the situation. When you're reacting and feeling, being receptive to the situation, observing it. And then you probably get drained from that circumstance, and it might be something small right now, dealing with a family friend or associate. But just know that you got the energy, but you're just experiencing withdrawals from the moon in Scorpio. So for the most part, also, and then we got moon opposing Uranus in Taurus too. So we're going to be running away from, change. Even if it's a good change, we may think that the person, place, or the thing is a manipulative scenario or something like that, due to the fact of what we're trying to deal with and what we're covering up around it to make it seem like that's not what we're dealing with when we're in these moments of interacting with the world. And that builds an aura alone. And this would, a lot of times, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants and Mars Scorpio signs be carrying around unwarranted. And they can be very good people, but just being in that mental space, they develop an aura, and then we all see lights inside of each other that we can't see in ourselves. So when you're around others, they don't even going to know how to make up what they see in you from their background and their previous observations. And if they are a negative spirit inside of that mind and body, the only suggestion they're going to make of what they're feeling from your vibe may be something negative. And then your spiritual back going to be against the wall, where you're going to have to externally express something that you wasn't really ready for, just for the context of showing the individual that whatever that they were seeing you as, that you was trying to understand, you wasn't that. And for the most part, a lot of Scorpios deal with that to the point that, depending on the background, the spirit inside of it, if it's a lower octave negative one or not, they will start to use these things to think that that's what they actually are and self-identify with trauma. And once you get into a lower octave area like that, and you're a Scorpio and you self-identifying with trauma, you actually start to work or act towards the things you have been believing what people see from you that's negative. And you actually play this weird self-entitlement energy where you think you deserve it anytime you're able to get over someone in a way someone got over you as a trauma, or you're able to make someone feel the way you have felt going through a trauma, even if it's a person that ain't even do that to you. You get this weird energy like, yeah, I won and I deserved it, based upon, in your mind, thinking that you stopped or prevented these same situations from happening that previously put you in these traumas. And you're stopping there. You're not looking at the morality of the hand and how it's affecting another, and how you're getting blood on your hands and get ready to receive karma and making matters worse. You're looking at it like, this is a way to see that I'm not a bad person, because the universe placed me in a situation to show me that I stopped something that I used to allow that put me through a traumatic space. But the Scorpio don't realize that the stinger energy be in where other signs may not do it. Your way of preventing something, you forgot the morality of it. Your way of preventing something was actually doing the same thing to someone else, where other signs may just stop those characteristics from another person when they start to spot them as a red flag that remind them of the previous people, places, and things that put them in that situation. The Scorpio do the same thing, but just because they are Scorpio, sometimes they don't see the morality of it because all the trauma that they went through by themselves going through these situations, it took a long time to build security again to even make themselves feel comfortable about themselves. So when they spent more time in that, it didn't leave enough time to be open for God to pour in any type of moral system because they're more in protection mode. So whatever that they're doing that's unmorally, in their mind, they're not seeing it that way. So if you got stung by a Scorpio, a lot of times it's not their fault. They be thinking that they're doing the right thing because they're protecting themselves from experiencing that previous circumstance again. And then their way of doing it is since they went through so much time of developing like I will not allow that again, before they looked at the moral aspect, they start developing ideas on, well, anyone I meet, I got to make sure I do these traits first to this person. And that becomes their first go-to of how to protect themselves to think that they're making the right decision. Other just coming genuine, but they really think they're genuine because they've been hurt so much. They didn't even want nobody around to even know how they could transform. They just want to come and be a new person or come and just do this thing fully that whatever the world pushed them away from, that they had to rebuild and recharge on. So a lot of times when a Scorpio is hurting others, it's because they're hurt, but they cover it up so good because they spent a long time dealing with the hurt. So the individual will see the Scorpio as a narc or something like that, or sting it, or they got stung by the Scorpio and the Scorpio don't care. No, the Scorpio deeply care, but they also been in that space alone so long that they created a good delusion to make you think that they don't care. That be what it is. So you'll be going around watching tarot card readers, astrologers like me, like, hey, tell me, thinking in your mind, like, I hope they talk about why do Scorpios sting people and stuff like that, and why they so evil, and the Scorpio ain't evil at all. You know what I'm saying? There was this in survival mode, and you caught them through a phase that you fulfilled something that helped them through a phase, and once it was drained up, they no longer needed you. So it wasn't really about you, it was about the phase that they was going through. And if they was going through that resentment, self-entitlement phase, any person that come in their life gonna get that stinger. Yeah. Until the Scorpio learn how to transmute on a higher octave and learn how to not do that, because they really hurt themselves at the end. You know what I'm saying? They always hurt themselves at the end when they don't realize that cycle early enough and get wet off the shortcomings of the having their cake and eat it too. Because once you get good in a certain area, because you got placed on the extreme opposite end, you also are able to figure out all the qualities of what you did wrong and compare and contrast in that area, because you're already interested in, on how to focus on everybody who's successful in that area and what qualities to do. So when you're in a space of being in that mind state based on the original premise of being damaged because somebody did something to you, you end up using good investigation, Inspector Gadget qualities for negative things. You see what I'm saying? So it play out as what we call manipulation, even when the Scorpio themselves don't know that's what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? And they might even have a family member saying, you're trying to manipulate the situation. It's not this. And you'll be thinking in your mind, like, why does this person say manipulation? Nah, I told you cut dry and real. But it's like the aura you carry because of the space you be in already. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes that's why you even get enemies for no reason, like the Leo. Because the aura you got will make a person think you think about them a certain way, so that intimidation energy come in. The intimidation energy come in where they're trying to pull it out of you. How the hell go up? They're trying to pull it out of you. So they're trying to temper you to see what's in there. They try to temper you to see what's in there. And then that's when you have to sting individual, or have your spiritual back against the wall, and things of that nature. And then when you go through so many of those situations, you start to figure out how you need to do that first to others. And that's your way of protecting yourself. So in your mind, you think it's the right thing. But every now and then, check the moral system of that, because your way of protecting yourself sometimes may hurt others, because your way of protecting yourself come from the original intent of you was in a situation that you got hurt. So you got to always understand we all self-reflect to a certain degree. So whatever we do to help ourselves, it's still a form of self-reflecting too. So even when we think we're doing something positive because it helped us, we got to remember what starting point we was in of the thing that before we used the thing that helped us with that thing we was in as a starting point. And from the Scorpio lens, you got to know sometimes a lot of y'all starting points will put y'all in negative spaces is going through something that was traumatic. So when you start to pull things in the world that help you with anything, it still filter out through that energy. So for the most part, be aware of that too. You know what I'm saying? So you might get real good without knowing it at hurting people. You might get real good at hurting people. Even if you're going through a time of your life, you're not hurt. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got a good job or something like that. You're happy for them in your heart, but the way your mind constructed, the way you say it may sound sarcastic. And you might not even know how to say it in a nice way. Somebody might already know you as saying it in a negative way, but then sometimes it be just too intense. You make a person really think like, well, do they actually care about me? Like, do they actually care I just got that good job? Or do they actually care I got that good car? I mean, I just got that new car or something like that. Because the Scorpio will be like, oh, yeah, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Don't get no accident. Something with death or something like that. Or something that's killing the ego. That this is how the Scorpio joke. Oh yeah, that car is dope. Don't think you the shit. Know what I'm saying? So if the person truly family or friends with the Scorpio, they supposed to understand that, but sometimes it still throw them off. It make the person think like, oh yeah, this my buddy, this my friend, this my bitch, this my homie. But then it's still the energy that they just throw in, still make you think that. But do they want me to get in a crash in this new car though? Like, but do they really like it though? Y'all saying like, but why did they say that? Y'all saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's sometimes Scorpios, even when you're in a happy phase, remember, your original template sometimes come from a trauma. You probably not having a car, you probably not having something, and all that hard work you did that other people don't know that it took for you to actually get yours and stuff like that. Like, that's always lingering around that you don't know. You take this from your fellow Martian on a higher octave. I'd be diving lower in the octave every now and then too. The dark side of Aries. But the Aries would be y'all dark side. Y'all can't be too upright. Y'all can't have a sword and jump from the tree too fast and things of that nature. So that'll be y'all dark side. Being too naive, going for the same purposes like passions. Y'all got to be more strategic. But yeah, every now and then you got to understand your original template is a hurt place though. So even when you're going through a good phase, you telling your friend, oh yeah, I do like your car. Always remember that other thing you get ready to say, you ain't thinking about it, but you got to remember where you come from when you alone. So that's where that sarcasm come from. So when you be like, oh yeah, that car is dope. Ho, don't get in no crash. I said you got to know that all that intensity, vibrations come behind the word. So you ain't meaning it, but you still got all that energy because on your alone time, you was in that space thinking and feeling a long time. That's what the aura is. That's what the cloud is. That's what a vibe is, a collection of thoughts and feelings. And if we don't release these things, we keep them to ourselves, that's pent up energy, an unhealthy release system. And that's what create auras. So you can have good auras or bad auras, but both of those end up in bad outcomes. Good auras is you got a bunch of pent up creativity that you never expressing outwardly. So every time you see somebody in front of you doing something you want to do, they get picked. They get the position. And then you be doubting yourself, like, why didn't I do that? Wish I should have could have records and stuff. And then when you got a lot of things put up into you negatively without a good release system, it'll end up having an explosion and you'll have an outburst, and that energy will be misguided. It'll be directed towards people, places, and things who ain't even put you in that space in the first place. And you'll be appearing to be a person that's self-sabotaging. Now, this goes for all zodiac signs, but especially Scorpios. You know what I'm saying? Just to get y'all a little bit more invested in, the moon is in Scorpio. get all my Scorpios that's watching a little bit more invested in your sign. And if you into astrology, you know, this good, healthy meat on the bone knowledge and stuff like that, so you can know more about the mind state of the Scorpios in your life, your family, your mother, the co-workers, associates, and stuff like that. So you know not to take everything to the heart when you feel like you start to feel that vibe of manipulation. All this, that don't make all Scorpios manipulating. I'm explaining the energy that they carry to make you, especially if you the self-reflecting one, and that's all you see through your background, to automatically point to a Scorpio and call them manipulating before you even know them. And then, since this the age of information and we got online already, you probably already got a pre-context. You probably already into this type of stuff. So as soon as you go to work, as soon as you look at your family member, you already got 1,000 thoughts and feelings of what you just heard online and stuff. So sometimes you could be wrong just on that basis and mess up good relationships based upon saying, oh, I seen this. Oh, this person got this trait at my job. They're Scorpio. My family member got this trait. This friend got this trait. This associate got this trait. And I remember what this astrologer and what this tarot card reader said. Oh, so this is, yeah, they all narcissists. And then that person just probably got the aura, but behind closed doors, they probably really not like that. And the reason why they got that aura is because they probably protecting something of something else that was in their life that don't even got nothing to do with narky energy or things of that nature. But just having auras in general is a negative for all signs, for everybody, because it's a confirmation that a person has a unhealthy way of releasing things. Like they don't have a healthy way of a healthy release system, like a good trusting family, friend, associate, or some type of creative project that they can release all their feelings and feel better after that negative feeling or after something negative that's happened. And by Scorpios being a fixed water, it's harder for them to do that than other signs. Anytime something positive or negative happen, they hold on. Fixed sign. They hold on to the emotion. Fixed water. And sometimes they don't even know that that's the right thing to do to let it go. They don't even know how to live their life without that. Same way Cancers don't know how to live their life without a grudge with someone. Not necessarily a grudge, but a hate for something. It don't even necessarily have to be a person. If a cat, like water, all water signs kind of got that in common in their own way. Cancers might be the most toxic. Scorpio's the most manipulating and self-sabotaging. And Pisces is the most delusional. But a lot of times you guys take a feeling, based on the experience via person, place, or thing, hold on to it to the point that in reality, the thought and feeling condensed and played out through people's actions in a whole different way. So in reality, it's not even that way no more, that the feeling you still in. And when we're in more in the eternal world, right? I think that's why I connected with water signs so much, because I'm an INFJ. You stay in the water world so much, the thoughts and feelings, since that's first before it bends into reality. But let's say in reality, you stay there more. Whatever you see in reality will look more like that. So if you went through a positive situation, you build an extreme excitement, even when the excitement ain't there no more in reality. If you went through a negative situation, you hold on to a grudge, even if in reality ain't no grudges needing to be played out no more. People probably apologizing. You probably in a space of not even seeing the situation in the right way, and it ain't even that deep and stuff like that. But the way you felt, you hold on to it. And it could go to the extreme, excitement or grudge or even mundane, where this would make water signs extremely lazy too. You could get in that one feeling of, I don't want to do anything today. And it'd be hard for anybody to get you out of that feeling too. And in reality, everybody moving around at work and stuff, or everybody moving around in the house and stuff, or it's time to go to work and the alarm clock is going off and you can hear it and your eyes is open and you rubbing the crust up. But that feeling of, oh no, it ain't, the hour is still 10 minutes ago. It's still 10 minutes before. It's still an hour and a half before. I got an hour left. That feeling of you have an hour left, you still there. You might actually look at the clock and really thought you seen it being an hour before. So let me go ahead and take a cat nap. And then be late as hell for work. Late as hell for work. Goddamn water sign. And that's a goddamn water sign to a motherfucking T. So if you a goddamn manager, Yeah, and I've been with one in a relationship with one for a long time. Good old couple year and a couple months. You know what I'm saying? So if you a manager and things of that nature, and you dealing with a male or female and things that they got, you got to get them grace and stuff like that. If they even if they water signs, you got no matter the one, especially Scorpio, but no matter the one, you got to get them grace. You know what I'm saying? They not lying. You might be looking at the Scorpio like they lying, they being manipulative. No, they ain't. When they looked at that clock, if they was in that certain emotion and that mundane one too, not the grudge or the excitement, because that would have got them up. That grudge one, oh, I hate work. They would still got up and just with the work pissed off in that mood. And that go for all water signs too, especially Scorpio. If it was a good one, excited, oh, I'm excited to go to work. That would have got them up. The mundane one, I don't really feel like it. You ain't gonna be able to get them out that one either. Whatever one they in, you know, say they ain't gonna be able to get out of. To take budging, getting out of. They might make you the worst enemy of their life, and you've been a family member helping them their whole life. And in your mind, you think your help is helping them with that. And the water side mind, they like, oh shit, this bitch. Oh shit, this homie cheese. Whether that's their father, mother, it don't even matter. The father and mother will never know that though. But like for the most part, it's every now and then through the actions though. You know what I'm saying? They do the water sign to do the totally opposite. You know what I'm saying? That's all the water sign need to do to be like, yeah, in my mind, that's me saying fuck you. Or whatever the case may be. You thought I felt that way until I showed you this action. Because I didn't really want to have that emotional discussion at the moment. So I'm expecting you to be a mind reader based off these actions I'm giving you. These fuck you actions. You know what I'm saying? Y'all real good at that water signs. Oh, that fuck you action. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the other signs feel it. They feel it. They feel it. You ain't got to go to the crib and imagine. Did they get the point? Did they get the point? Because I ain't really want to say what I wanted to say, but did they get the point? Look, here, I'm Archangel Uriel. I've been all the zodiac signs. They got the point. You ain't got to go to work or go to school tomorrow in that same mood to make sure they get the point that day with some extra flunked out fart clouds you put in that's unsaid, unwritten law in the classroom. You don't have to. Trust me, we got it that first time. You're going to make one of us want to fight you if you keep doing it the rest of the week. So just chill out. We got it. We got it. All right? We got it. We got it. I'm saying your witchcraft work, y'all. Witchcraft works. Y'all just don't been believing in it, so that's why y'all create toxic situations and stuff. That y'all got to stop it. Y'all need to know it worked. It worked. Now, for the most part, but yeah, we also got the moon opposing not moon opposing, moon trining Saturn and Pisces. So we're going to have this gift to be able to react and respond and build this passion and courage to go for some type of status, stability, security, support, safety, or building process in some way, and really build the emotional connection to get it done. Also, we got Moon trying Neptune and Pisces. So we are also going to have this gift to kind of transform out of delusions and take this passion and go for our dreams and imaginations, or truly express what we put in faith and belief in, where we was kind of indecisive on expressing it or not, due to the fact of not wanting to put ourselves in vulnerable positions. Also, or we're compromising situations. Also, Moon is sextile in Pluto, so we're gonna have this opportunity to be able to react in late Pluto. In late Capricorn, to react and respond to transforming our status, what we're known for, how we are seen, what we're trying to initiate, what we're trying to build on. We're going to actually do it with good intensity, good passion, and willing to transform out of any old and outdated habit or the way we was doing it that wasn't working, and willing to put that to the death and cause a rebirth into this new way of expression or new way of acting upon it. And then we got Moon in conjuncting Chiron. So we're going to have this misunderstanding where that's going to be a feeling we have within ourselves. Misunderstanding if we making a mistake or not when we're going for our passions, motivations, and desires in a willful manner. Because the depositor of both of these signs, the Moon and Chiron and the North Node, which is the ruler is Mars. For the most part, Mars is in Capricorn right now. So with Mars being in Capricorn, being exalted, there's an extreme energy to go for our. Yeah. There's an extreme energy to go for our passions, but the confusion is we can go too extreme, overexhaust ourselves, in a misguided, passionate way, where we're motivated to do things that ain't necessarily things we have to do. So even though it gives us an extra oomph with Mars being exalted and the depositors being in the moon and Chiron and the North Node, it makes the could go towards unnecessary things where we're putting too much on our plate. So you might think, instead of just going for the passion, I might need this job, I might need this, I might need this circumstance, this family member, this person, this friend, or this, that, and the third, and put all this yourself to use or make others useful, where you start to burn out the Capricorn energy I use. You start to burn that energy out where you start to do work harder and not smarter. And a lot of times when it's misguided, all that passion is going towards reality based type things instead of just being passionate for the goal and the feeling. The Aries and the Scorpio that actually manifests as that character itself, building stability, and that'd be the result for you to be like, let me be passionate about that status now. Then that makes Mars exalted and the better quality of it. But you might get confused during this time due to the fact of the depositors are in flunky positions for their energy. So when you had the depositor being in Capricorn exalted, but the signs that Mars rule as the depositor is in its debilitation, like Mars is debilitated, Aries is in Chiron, where we think we making mistakes at, and then the North Node is showing us our spiritual growth, but that's taking us through unfamiliar situations. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going through an unfamiliar situation or something that's you haven't did before or whatever like that, that builds quite like fear or things of that nature. But it actually shows you your capabilities or incapabilities going through that situation. So that's like your spiritual growth or North Node, gaining comfortability with new scenarios, or learning how to transform, or learning how to do something new, and getting out of the South Node energy so you can learn your capabilities and incapabilities to have a testimony to bring something in the world to get what you were stressed out for anyway. So keep that in mind. Ooh, pardon me. Now, but for the most part, when we get into the energy of why they're debilitated, we might have all this passion doing it for the wrong things based upon thinking that our emotions is in the right place, Moon and Scorpio, and thinking that we're observing the right mistakes before we go for a passion, aka Aries and Chiron. Then the North Node is there. We're gonna be thinking that, okay, this is our spiritual path, and then we might manifest. Thank you so much for the cash app, Corey Harrell. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. We may manifest a concept of thinking that we're going for our spiritual path that's actually in opposite and making us do more things that we actually have to do. So we might be like, okay, yeah, this is the right thing. This is my spiritual path. And it's a whole bunch of things that we ain't even really got to do, and blocking us from even knowing what we're supposed to do, and put us in a space that we're learning more than actually experiencing, and probably learning all the wrong things, because it may have something to do with Mars and Capricorn. It may have more to do with the money or the expectation out of it, other than the character that you have to be for that to even be a possibility when you put yourself in these positions. So that's going to be what we have to learn during this particular time too, with that little cycle. Now we also got Moon Moon sextile and Lilith. So there's going to be extreme Inspector Gadget energy where you're going to be investigating with the Moon in Scorpio and Lilith being in Virgo. But the thing you're going to be investigating is your emotions. So this makes it an extremely self-aware time. So even when you felt comfortable with a decision, and it may be the highest, best decision to make, it may be the right decision, you're going to try to find where it may not be. You may try to find, like, you're going to be in this energy where you're always trying to find something wrong and, with something. And if you're not a person on your own shadow work, this might just bleed over into you, and because you already a toxic person that self-reflect all the time. So you can have people in your life, family, friends, associates, or co-workers that's actually doing the right things at the moment, or give you the right advice, or things of that nature, and you're or acting in a way, in such a way that it ain't harming nobody, and you still trying to find something wrong. Oh no, this person acting this way because of this. Oh no, I think something is that. Oh no, so don't be so cynical during this particular time with the Moon being in Scorpio, sextiling, because it's good qualities, good opportunities. Inspector Gadget is good qualities all the time, but it can become very negative anytime we got a quality that's misguided. Anytime we direct that energy and is in a misguided place. So we got to be careful of that too. And having this good quality Inspector Gadget energy directed in a misguided area could be more self-sabotaging than positive. You know what I'm saying? Where it could be a person that's actually trying to help you, and just off your investigation energy, you make them feel like you're untrustworthy now, and then you start self-reflecting like, yeah, I knew I was right. Where this whole time you was in the energy of non-trusting. So you attracted that, not you proving yourself right. You manifested that situation, not you proving yourself right. That's another thing all you water signs got to understand too. And that'd be more for the Pisces too. Other than us, the whole breakdown I did specifically for the Scorpio, but we added Cancer and Pisces in. What I just said, that'll be more anchored towards the Pisces, but you can still anchor Cancer and Scorpio in. Thank you so much for the donation, Royal Black. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So it's just all about being aware, and that gives you the tool to prevent something. And anytime we have a tool to prevent something, it doesn't matter how small or large the scale is, the world can change. That's what it means when a person say, hey, what can we do with all this knowledge? That's a person that always need a handout. So they're lost in a religion. They got a whole bunch of lackings in their life that they see other people who probably lack just as much as them in their areas, but they're so low they have to compare and contrast who's lower. You know what I'm saying? Who only got one stick of butter, you know, and the other person only got 2 stick of butters in their refrigerator, so it gets real negative in low areas. You know what I'm saying? Thanks so much for the donation, LE. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. So you have to do self-evaluation, and when you do a self-evaluation, before you learn anything, you learn the mechanism of what does it mean to be helped before we call it the word help. And that's getting a tool to fix something. So when we're talking about the spiritual world and how Masons be using and stuff like that, ideas to help you out of flunked out situations is what made you feel like, oh, I could use this mental template and act it out. That'll stop me from going through a situation that made me depressed. So when we teamwork makes the dream work, and everybody doing that for themselves, and then we come and do that as a community, what manifests from that is a better environment, better laws, better way of communicating with each other as far as community and communion, and for the most part, the new organs and forms that we create. And so for the most part, that's the highest way of help. But when you come across an individual that be like, all this knowledge, how can we do it? If you're spiritually inclined enough, an angel, especially if you're an INFJ, you already know what space that person been in, because you probably was there 100 years ago and know all the ins and out. You already know what, before that person say 2 words, you know what a space a person have to be in to breathe that way and to suggest to even say that word. And then words are interchangeable. So for a person to start a sentence with 1 or 2 words is actual meaning. INFJs, we went through that thought form at the age of 3. We went down trains of thoughts and line of reasonings like that at the age of 3. So we so good at it, it's second nature to us. We have to learn how to cut that off sometimes and be human again. But once a person say something like, with all this knowledge, what can we do with it? Even if I'm a person online, I will be able to know how to cut them off based on the way they breathing. Soon as a person say, hey, so with all this knowledge, I already know that them other words is getting ready to come. What can we do with it? Because the way that they breathing. For a person to breathe that way, they went through an experience, and that experience is only a handful of situations you had to go through to go through an experience to make you breathe that way, with that kind of frustration on that percentage scale. Then the INFJ go even deeper than that. We know all the percentage scales on the measurement or what type of person that's dealing with what measurement of that in their life. Like, it get deep. I'm telling y'all, I can go deeper than that. Let me stop though. Let me bring it back to the surface for y'all humans, right? And shout out to all my angels out there. I'm training HPIS when y'all come to the resorts every month. And if you're INFJ, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you just been in these worlds for so long, it's like second nature. So as soon as a person just be like, because we could get so good, we could get with the breath and we already know any words here they come. That's what I'm about to teach y'all sign language. I'm telling y'all. By everything. But as soon as the person be like, oh, but with this knowledge, boom, I can just cut them off and be like, only the energy you showing me that I can see in the esoteric world, the only handful of reasons, and I know specifically yours, a person could be in that space is they're trying to use a template for something that they lack in their life. And since they've been hearing things that sound like it can do that, but every time they do that in their life, they don't see the outcome that of the thing that they want to get, it makes a person in a space of questioning it. So whatever person, even if the person watching me, I'd be like, whatever person, all the way down to me. I was one of those characters that gave you that kind of expectation that something can happen, that every time you use it in your own life without me, you didn't see it happening. So when you questioned it, it don't matter who it was, me or anything, all those things in your mind that you was trying to fulfill in that area are going to be things you start to question and stuff like that. And then those things become your parent or your God to the point your frustration. Tell me the lie. Tell me the truth. Tell me why I'm here. All energy come out in the esoteric world. But in the physical world, it's just you trying to ghost or separate or trying to be defensive or jump into competition with the INFJ now or get into some type of I don't know. I could get into that, but sometimes I want that now. I feel like I'm smothering myself trying to jump too much in human shoes. Them worlds be too small, like where you only need one or two validations, and one of them is just the own chakra you in yourself. So the outside, once one or two people tell you what you think you good at, you think that's you. Once one or two people tell you what you bad at, you think that's something you need to hide from, and that's actually what's negative about you. And before you know it, who you think you are consists of all y'all mirroring each other in the world. A whole collection of validations. And everything you've been validated on, you go extreme on trying to always do it so you could get that reaction you always felt. And you created this false sense of thinking this is what it means to feel good. So anytime you get ready to reach a situation that where a person, place, or thing don't give you that cake that you was trying to eat too, you start to think it's the end of the world. Because you're like, wait a minute. This is what I was validated on. This person not validating this on me. You might become a bully to that person or try to intimidate that person or try to hide away from these people. If you pass one of the passive aggressive type who get bullied, you might try to always be away from these people because you're going to think that you can never be good enough for them because what your mother validated you on, you could never get validated from your love interest or that person. So you might get into that energy or whatever like that and all kind of get into Wicca and start practicing witchcraft, whatever you'll flunk that at. You know what I'm saying? And all kind of deep esoteric energies. Hold on, I got another point. Hold on. Yeah, and then all the things that you have been invalidated on, you start to grow up in life and go through life and run away from those things. And a lot of these things may be qualities from the limited people you had access to who didn't like it. When you go out in the world, there may be people who do like it. You sheared your way away from it. And that make you socially awkward in those circumstances of whatever that term that we're calling. That be the actual experience that manifests that actual word that we could point to that energy you experiencing, which cause social awkwardness. Because you don't know your gift, nor do you know it's a gift at all, and you're hiding something you didn't know you had to hide in these scenarios because you might be thinking that you're gonna get the same results of when these things was expressed through the lens of these people you had limited access to. They always gave you negative results. So you already suggesting in your mind that you already gonna get that negative result in life. So a lot of these things could be hidden gifts and talents that always be in the back seat your whole life and stuff like that, due to the fact of you just have fart clouds you was raised up around. You know what I'm saying? Like you get deep. But you know, I didn't even graduate, but me being an INFJ, this the way my mind work. So if I ain't had no guidance, I guide myself. So this makes us all know how to do something. But if you're a young INFJ right now, it's important for you to get around someone who's intelligent, because this quality you got is with people who have to go to school to learn how to be philosophers or counselors. They have to actually learn how to do. your mind already worked that way. Like the way you've been living your whole life is structured that way. That people who become famous philosophers have to learn. The way you process your experience already that. So if you're young right now, if you're a young INFJ right now, it's important for you to get some intelligent people around you. And if you watch me, that only makes it the better. You about to be one of the coldest angels, never be a demon again, person down here. Because we get ashamed when we show ourselves just like humans. But when humans show themselves, it's because they just got an insecurity exposed. What we be considering insecurities is actually qualities. Our showing ourselves as our power that actually can help people. And we just trying to have the human experience too much. We got to really get to grips that we ain't human. We celestial, we cerebral. We got to really understand that. Or you just going to be always giving your power away. Even in the most subtlest ways, when you created a circumstance that everything is running smoothly, it's still going to be somewhere in there that small piece of your space still feeling like it's getting smothered. You know what I'm talking about if you're a non-object. It's only so long you can play human to the point that your way of looking at yourself human ain't human, and you gotta drain yourself to be that human, to be like, yeah, I'm here and I just think different and that's it. That's draining. Everything drains us. So you just gotta just get with the program. You just stop being drained. You know what I'm saying? You just deal with it. You just don't. This is what it is. You special without the ED or LD. You got the special INFJ, HPIF energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way you truly gonna be able to be in that true INFJ position that you know in your mind is a snap of a finger. Which you see humans stress out to blood, sweat, and tears. In your mind, it's like, and if if you was to do it, and the only thing that block you is just the societal blockages there. That's the only thing blocking. And that don't even stop it from being possible either, because the quality you have. All you got to do is jump in and start affecting all the minds in the template, because the template is made from the minds in the first place. So yeah, we can look at the template being played all we want, but that don't discourage us from it being possible, because we know we got the power of influence, man. Because we know we got the power of influence. So regardless of everybody playing out the template, all we got to do is go to the head, skip the middlemen and women, influence the people that's at the head, give them a better quality of how to do something, play that rebellious energy, and then we start to shatter the whole thing that was built, and we don't even we always stand corrected. We don't even put it in a position where it could be adjusted, like a boundary could be adjusted. So we just push the boundary a little bit, and we allow those individuals to adjust around it like this is something. No, we just go ahead and shatter it. It's either we taking over, or that whole thing can't survive in this world no more. That whole industry got to go somewhere. Whatever we get ready to create, we to convince the whole world that whatever we did is better. Like, that's the only way an INFJ do it. And somehow the universe make that in reality. That's what scares us. We be just as shocked as the people we be shocking. That's why we run away and feel ashamed. We're like, damn, did we do something wrong? Because then we catch the feeling of the individuals, and then when an individual feel weird, we feel weird. Be like, damn, am I supposed to feel like this? Because we be trying to figure out the whole world is ourselves. So it be a piece of ourselves and everything. So you might be a person from one background, meet another person from a whole nother background, purely off the INFJ or the angel energy fart cloud floating in the world. So y'all both have something in common that how average humans have stuff in common don't even have nothing to do with. And both of y'all are thieves, that's why y'all have stuff in common. And both of y'all are ratchet, that's why y'all have something in common. When angels come down here, we create vibes and atmospheres where y'all don't even know about it. So then y'all could be totally two strangers and come together and start having a good conversation based on whatever template an angel brought down here. You know what I'm saying? This is how we bring all y'all into one space, so we can show y'all we know how to fly in a physical form. Because INFJs know what I'm talking about. So sometimes what we think is getting drank is getting boosted up too. Because we drink. This what we feel ashamed about. We think we vampires. You know, this would make us our dark side. This remind us we was demons one upon a time. When we ain't know we was doing. We fell first. So we know as a spirit, we eat stars, minds. And minds is thoughts and feelings. So you know as an INFJ, we could be around just 7, 10 people and start to feel that sense of being light on our feet. Start to feel that sense of we capable of anything. And start to play out with our mind, developing concepts that support everybody we around. Like it ain't nothing. That's the first energy. Then it end up being, we start physically doing it. And then we have to sit back and realize ain't nobody else doing nothing. And then we start to build that door shut in that moment we ain't supposed to. But at the INFJ, we have to realize that's what we showing at the moment though. We showing all this excitement and then expressing all these ideas and then actually start doing it in front of everybody too. We make everybody feel like, well, goddamn, I'm just gonna go along for the ride. We don't be realizing that though, because I'm telling you, INFJ, we around, you know how Side Guru would be having 100, 300 people? Just don't do that to no INFJ. We might literally fly. Like literally. We literally go through these type of thoughts and be testing this shit. Y'all can see some of my videos and shit. Like even when I was in New York, I was trying to fly. I almost did. Y'all said, but it wasn't enough people paying attention to me. Everybody, it's a lot of people in New York, but everybody was on their own thing. And I was just doing my video in my own secluded area. It wasn't like I was going everywhere saying, hey, everybody come here. But secretly, this would be the angels be doing. You know what I'm saying? We be trying to show y'all some shit. Like, the closest we can do is bring like metal forms here by ourselves in areas. Or if you're around us and we got an object that we kind of like programmed, we could kind of do something. If we're around a person and we only need one person energy, 1 or 2 people's energy, we could still kind of do a magic trick. But we need your thought and feeling and we need your belief for it to work. You know what I'm saying? For an example, let's say I got a pair of dice on me, right? Now I'm Archangel Uriel. Now I'm going to say something. It might not got nothing to do with me being an angel, but I'm going to say something that's true in the world. I'm going to say 4 + 4 = 8. You're going to know that. But see, the INFJ add emphasis to it because we didn't thought on our own time about the inlets and outs of it. That's an energy to it. So that's a vibe behind it that the average human ain't going to know. And the INFJ might not know that's what energy is. Anytime you just add a lot of energy into something, it's more impactful. So you can make something simple more impactful just by, and sometimes you might even say it more with the vibrational tone. So instead of just saying bitch, you say bitch. So a person know you meant it more. See what I'm saying? But you got to know that mechanism. See, INFJ mind. You got to know that mechanism of why it's received that way also, and why what made you express it that way also. So once I say something that I know somebody will believe, then add the extra energy in it that ain't even got nothing to do with it or from other mechanisms, but I just adding energy and things to make it more impactful, right? I could have the 1 or 2 people in a mind state enough that whatever I said, they can add their own thought and feeling because it's teamwork makes the dream work. That's what we all need to the orb I just created, whatever I'm making them pay attention to. Now, when they add their thought and feeling, yeah, they know 4 + 4 = 8, but all the other energy I put in it is almost they're gonna get this other sense behind it, like, but damn, this person, the way they said it, yeah, I know it, yeah, it kind of puts you in your own mind of you thinking more about when you discovered 4 + 4 = 8. Even as this as simple as that, you're like, yeah, I remember when I was in school. You don't know that's what the INFJ is doing though. It's just the other energy, other thoughts and feelings. So when you receive it, you get you is in that same space of adding more thoughts and feelings. And if the INFJ directing it, you're adding more thoughts and feelings towards what you've been directed towards. Paying attention to what we're talking about. 4 + 4 = 8. Now, once the angel, the vampire, get all that esoteric blood, that thought and feeling, that depthness, because we agreeing now, so we in the same space spiritually. We agreeing on one template, the mind state I created, and then you adding all yours there in that Babylon. Boom. Now I'm able to take that big forceful energy and add it into whatever object I got. Say I got a 7. Say I got a pair of dice, right? It's gonna be programmed with all the energy of something being right. Now let's say I transform that right where I want it to be 7. So it don't matter how I shake the dice and roll it, it's gonna be a 7. Because that's the energy I created in the room. So whether I had a tarot card, it would have been a 7 of swords, whether I have a, you know what I'm saying, however you want to direct it, when you understand the mechanism. So it'll always be a 7. Boom. Then once the person see that, whatever extra sauce I want to add to it, that'll be up to me, being a wise individual, and know how far to go with that based upon reality and what be in my mind. Now, if you powerful enough, you could. It ain't like this something only angels can do or not enough J's, because I wouldn't be able to express it to y'all. I'm trying to figure out that mechanism, that got it, where we can see in reality. There's a such thing. There's a mechanism of something that can be caught and something that can't be caught. So there's people who got it who can't be got it, and people who don't got it. I'm still trying to figure out that mechanism. So when I come back in these atmospheres, these worlds, when people who don't got it, people who didn't catch it, there's a program, there's a teaching, there's a school to teach people to get it. There's a school to teach people to have it. Try to make a better world in all realities when it comes to the deep internal energies. You know what I'm saying? So I got humanity, even when y'all don't think I do, in ways that you might not ever think you care about at the moment. This is stuff. This is the stuff I cry about and care about. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's like I'm still trying to find that mechanism. And I have one more point before I finish the astrology. I have one more point. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out that mechanism. Yeah, this part. Yeah, if you powerful. Now, like I said, now if you powerful enough, you'll be able to do that also. This ain't something just angels can do and stuff like that. If you powerful enough, you'll be able to do that also. It's just about understanding the mind condensed into the physical world, and it just take energy, more thoughts and feelings, and knowing how to direct that energy into an inanimate object, and then having faith and belief, knowing that it's true, and then it actually come to be. You see what I'm saying? It's just literally like that. So once you know what energy is, you know what you're working with. You know what you're picking up when you say, I'm picking up a vibe. You're picking up a collection of thoughts and feelings. Now you have to be intelligent in that area. It's called emotional intelligence or intelligence. You have to know how to separate from your own bias, your own thoughts and feelings. That's a psychopath direction in Babylon. And you have to be more empathetic. Empath direction in a Babylon street. And when you go down that path, you know how to separate if it's your own feeling or not, because you went through enough experiences to let you confirm that. And then, for the most part, you're knowing what energy is in the first place. So you start to develop intelligence on how to read it, encapsulate it, and use it, and what it's doing in the first place. And then you know, okay, oh, that's what a vibe mean then. So I could just create any template to match a certain geographical location that has a certain energy, and I could change it. I could be the cause of something. The cause, because the world is built on cause and effect. You could be in reactionary mode all the time. You're always lost into the effect. You're not causing anything like the laws or whatever like that. Or you could be on the causing end, like the angels. You cause the atmosphere to spring into existence. So you can cause events. So you ain't the smaller spirit where you're just talking about gossip, other people. Mundane spirit, talking about events. You're controlling and creating events. The highest level of it. You know what I'm saying? Where the whole family reunion, you probably ain't even lift a finger, and it's playing out in the way you had it in your mind. And everybody involved really didn't know what was going on. They just thought regular life. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Like, I done set up mad situations like that before, where like from positive to negative, where a person's worst nightmare, I did all the possibilities. It was nowhere they can hide. It was nothing they can do. It was nothing they can say. It's almost like a spirit that's small with a little form being in my space as a spirit being so big. When I create a storm, thoughts, feelings, and tears without actually crying, this means when I'm starting to be expressive, it'd be like a hurricane to a small spirit in a little weather atmosphere that you can't even see. It'd be like breath. Invisible, because it ain't enough light, it ain't enough collection of it to be bright enough. So that little wind cycle get washed away in the fourth and the sixth dimension, all in my atmosphere, in my big old space. In the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, it play out like a person can't breathe. They can't say nothing. They can't do nothing. They don't know how to react. They start to go through the masculine energy of knowing, if I will react, I might got to think like this. This person might think that. They might think I might think, all the way to the point that person might start losing breath. They start doing that and shit, grasping for physical breath and shit. Get nervous and shit. Keep looking down and up, jittery, and can't get control of it. And they'd be trying to go back to the chakra that they didn't lost as a fart cloud. They went into la la land. They be trying to gather pieces of it back together as comfort zones, validities, what they used to. And it's hard because I done scattered it. They just absorbed in me now. Then and if I let them go in their own life, all they can see is me back in their normal life. Their normal life been scattered. When they picking their life back together, their pieces back together, they mind back together around their spirit. It's a slow process because this piece start looking like me. They have to put it down and remember, no, this was a side of me. I just forgot it. Pick it back up and get another piece. And y'all said but all these pieces still they might get their life back together, but then they can't never forget me because they can't never forget the person they put them through their life being shattered and have to put their mind back together. So they ain't gonna never forget that INFJ. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm sad. I made people cry and shit like murderers and shit. But it's a deep game down here. So angels' concept of pandering is beyond humans. I'm saying real stuff. That's why I used to tell y'all 10 years ago and stuff like that, man. That's why I ain't never try to jump in no industry or make myself a part of people. I would have been in jail or did something that would have put me in dead or something like that, or been got killed or something like that. Because God told me don't cheat. Because the moment I start cheating, no one can breathe. I just take over everything. Person would have been got rid of me and stuff like that. You won't be able to breathe. So it's like I gotta smother myself even at times I'm alone because the wind outside and the atmosphere ain't nothing but a collection of y'all fart clouds and thoughts. So I start reading everybody's thoughts, everybody's prayers and stuff. Then I feel responsible for strangers and stuff. I'm like, man, what's going on? But y'all don't know these type of experiences. And IJs know a little bit about these experiences, but really low key, me being Archangel Uriel, HPIF, I'm having this on the highest extreme level there ever could be since the age of 3. It's literally not a thought you could think of that I haven't thought before. But that's me lying to you. That's pandering. See, that's what me saying angels is pandering. Ain't no the God, how they calling it. It's just angels making up realms of realities. And you got fallen angels and you got something you could be and you create a realm of reality. But for the most part, that's me lying saying that that kind of circumstance. Because it ain't really that. It's really me doing a whole bunch of stuff that I know you got to go through experiences to figure out for yourself. And then when you go through those experiences and then figure out the highest intelligence in whatever experience you went through, then that's when you're going to do a full circle and come back around and hear that I was already talking about that. I already said that. I already did that. And that's what I always was telling you. But I told you that in a different way that set you on that path. See what I'm saying? So it's not that angels pander on the highest level. It's not that I even know everything. And then I'm just telling you to figure out. There's like a whole nother context to this shit. We set humans on paths. It ain't a thought in this world or a feeling in this world that you could think of that I haven't thought of. But it goes beyond that. That's me pandering to you. It goes all the way down to I set the template for you to come to that realization in the future. So when you get the full clarity of it, you can go back to the past of me saying it and realize I was saying the same thing. But I said it in that was relatable to you at that time in the phase. So when you do reach that space, then that's my only way of showing you in reality. That's my only way to stand corrected, because we've been doing this for so long throughout so many eons. Humans come up with their own lies. Jesus could be right in front of y'all face, and y'all will come up with an excuse of that's not this Jesus in some way. So we had to come up with different ways of coming on Earth, so y'all can't second question it. You can't second question it, like, because we figured out all the human loopity-loop-loops. Because sometimes y'all could create lies to convince yourselves otherwise, even when the truth is in front of you too. We had to figure out how to create a lie that's the truth, so you could take your truth that's a lie and actually see the actual mirror, so you can look at that lie as it being a lie, but it can reflect your truth that is a lie, to show you that you always been a lie, calling it the truth. And when you actually see the truth, you will call it a lie. But here's the lie in such a way that you can't mistake it, that this is the actual truth and you was in the lie. And the more that you want to call that truth the lie, you're going to know that you're lying to yourself now. You're lying to you. You're still in your own ego. You know what I'm saying? In some way. And you're just going to go into hell, and you're going to have to suffer with something being greater than you, where you didn't even have to play that game, because the thing you're going to be pointing at that's greater than you ain't looking at you like that, and probably always been trying to show you how good you are, which is why the angels or the NFIJs always attract narcs. So a narc would die in their pity. That's how angels do it in physical reality. You better off acting like Dolo don't exist. You would never forget me, though. So you can't even do that in your heart. You can lie in the physical 3D ego world, though. You could create the perception of what you think you want people to know about you, though. But deep down, once upon a time, only you was there. Now, me and you there. That don't feel so comfortable, does it? Don't fuck around meeting 9FJs down here now. I'm saying real shit. That don't fuck around meeting no. You can move 10,000 countries away. Wherever you go, there you are. Now, and that INFJ you met. You don't go no further than that. Kill yourself. Revelation. How you actually do it. How you actually create hell on earth. Not the spookism way. The real way. The real thing is here, nigga. Now look. Also, we got Moon in conjunct in the North Node and Chiron. So we might misunderstand where we're making mistakes when we're going for our passions, motivation, and our desires. And this is our spiritual growth, learning that we're not necessarily making mistakes, and don't be hard on yourself. And you actually gonna gain comfortability with uncomfortability. And Moon sextile and Lilith. So we're gonna be in this energy of investigating our emotional stance and try to find something wrong with ourselves when there ain't even nothing wrong there at all. Don't be too hard on yourself. Now, the house that we have Scorpio in will be the area you will become extremely self-aware and be willing to transform something or create manipulating tactics to make an excuse to stay in some toxic trait or bad habit. So if it's the first house, it might be something that you're doing in your personal life within that conduct. If it's your second house, you might be valuing trying to transform a person, place, or thing, or yourself that you value at the moment, based upon you not getting that same reciprocation. Or you might be developing some manipulating energy in that area, or a tactic to make an excuse to stay in some toxic trait, to value something that you don't want other people to know you valuing, but you don't want to stop valuing it. But you know people will look down on you if you still valuing it. So you're manipulating the situation of people you actually value in your life to keep that bad habit or that trait hidden and things of that nature. Take your ass to rehab. Thank you so much for the donation, Rare Vision. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Welcome to the mind of an Antares Moon, INFJ, where we might not even necessarily be doing what we could teach people to do. The INFJ may not even be necessarily in a relationship. They flunked out in that area. We could teach you how to get married and be for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Like y'all need to go to rehab. All I'm saying. Hey, I'm a man. I'm a Sigma INFJ. Everything different when it comes to I said real stuff. Yo, we got real good mental stability and stuff like that. The stuff in our life don't mess up our life like it mess up y'all life. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't do hard drugs anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to make the joke and use myself as a sarcastic way to still help you understand we just different. We're very different. And if anything was an alien, it was us. And I'm training you humans to get out of that old form. Even if you in that form at the moment, at least have that mental form you can float around in down here and be an HPIF, a human plane in existence, or INFJ in training. I can take you being in that IN state that you weak in and bring it up here into your brain state so you can start being aware of that world more as a practice, as a schooling. You know what I'm saying? Then that put me in a position where I can make a school named after me beyond Carl Jung. And then that puts you in a position of you could be professors and stuff like that. And then the world that come after it, you ain't got to worry about me no more. Y'all can do me better being yourself. Y'all can have all the colleges up under y'all name now. Teamwork makes the dream work. Y'all the ancestors. We reincarnating. Teamwork makes the dream work. The Jews and the Masons ain't gonna be in the numbers, so they're gonna have to go to y'all schools now instead of how they destroyed y'all ancestors and y'all going to their schools in this cycle. And then for the most part, I'm just gonna be the spirit floating around the whole atmosphere. The whole atmosphere is my soul. Y'all ain't gotta worry about me, and y'all just make the world better. How I'm showing y'all through the template, living through me now that I gotta do it now. You know what I'm saying? The physical form. Thank you so much for today. It's your David Chatty. Say, yo, Dodo, I was wondering that wisdom could be specifically used for persuasion and influence. Hmm? Yeah, I'm gonna be going live in an hour. You might click the link. Because I can't. I mean, I could make that. I know Jays can make anything make sense. But I'm going through a door slamming process right now so I could go in this INFJ life. So I have to make sure I'm standing on my opinions and stuff like that so I don't manifest anything in the future. So you do need to know that might be a reprobate question a little bit. I had to say that. I dealt with all the niceness so that I'm not saying nothing negative. I'm saying um, I, I once upon a time, about 7 years ago, I was in a space where I would have just came up with something. And in my mind, once I cut the live stream off, I would have been like, man, what the, you know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow I would have went live in this energy. So then it would have gave the comfortability of the person thinking that the last question wasn't so bad. And then once a week go by, I would have gave some unwarranted energy based upon a door slam. I probably would have said, "Stop asking questions, you motherfucking smack monkey." So I'm preventing those moments now. So at this time, so I will let you know that question don't make sense. But I also in a new phase where I'm coming in better ways. You can click the link. I'm going live in an hour and stuff like that, and we can get a better understanding of it. So even if it is still a reprobate question, we can adjust what you actually won't answer, and we can still answer a question and stuff like that, and it's still all good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in that type of phase right now. I'm trying to change humanity right now on all levels, and I got to notice my power. I can't be like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we yearn to be human. See, it's not like y'all. We don't think like y'all. Sometimes this is why I always say to y'all, you know what I'm saying, feeling shame because y'all exposed because it be of an insecurity. We be strong, so we yearn other things. So a lot of times, yearning being human, it'd be like me jumping in the shoes saying, well, I feel self-entitled that I don't gotta wake up nobody or make nobody know how wise I am, even if I can help somebody, because I don't never had nobody who can do that for me. I never had nobody I could release any of my frustrations to. Trust me, INFJs went through that a lot. We screamed, you know what I'm saying? Till we had to realize, listen, Listen, little INFJ, little angel. Don't be no demon. You get ready to become a demon. That's your way of becoming a human. A little bit above human is demon. You can't be in limbo. That's being in limbo. The outcome's never going to go in your way anyway. You need to understand, where you screaming at, no one else here but you. Every time you see someone else screaming, I see why you feel that way. Because when someone else screaming, they got someone else there. And a lot of times when they meet the INFJ, you there. So you able to sit back and be like, I can clearly see it, compare and contrast. I know I'm not tripping. Jumping in the world, I can see when others scream, others there. And I can't say there's people in the world. This is why INFJ is so happy that when we see another INFJ. So we don't be wet like a fan. We be wet like, oh, somebody where I'm at. I see you when I get there when we got our collection of humans. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, we compare and contrast like, wait a minute, I know I'm tripping. Because we so deep into the mechanism, we try to find the truth of something based upon the wisdom. So we like being wise. So we like, okay, it got to be somebody else out there that's just like us. So then we put ourselves in other people's shoes again, our natural nature, that external expression. And then we start to be like, wait a minute. We so good at observing other people, we start to put ourselves in our own shoes again, like, wait, ain't nobody else out there like us, because anyone we could find out there that we're thinking about, 9 times out of 10, we there in that person's life. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, wait a minute. So if no one in the world experience what we experience, and then we actually is one of the reasons why the rest of the world is not experiencing what we experience, we get in that funk. That real isolation, ghosting everybody energy without an explanation. And we become harder Aquariuses than the Aquarius energy itself. We actually go to another world, another planet, and feel more comfortable there until we recharge. And it takes us a while to recharge because our space so big, we got a lot of thoughts and feelings to add in to feel fulfilled again. So we can swim in it as a spirit to go through all the wonders and possibilities. And then that's when we express ourselves again. And we might not even be mad about what we was mad about. All that got transmuted in some type of creative attribute. We end up getting ready to take over somebody's corporation, or end up getting ready to make somebody's quarterback mad, or make somebody's beauty beautician mad, make the America's Next Top Model don't feel like she's getting ready to get picked mad and stuff like that. If you a female INFJ, like all kind of stuff. Like it's like there's something we do. And if you a female, you might not even be as cute as her. It's just your aura automatically. Like the female got to do something that she thinks she didn't get, and she been getting praised the whole life. It's like it's just some kind of quality we got. It's deep. You can't shy away from that and humanize that either. I see how some INFJs sometimes, and I get it because I'm an INFJ, we want human reciprocation. So sometimes when we be expressing ourselves in such a manner like we got over it, it's still showing some ways we still yearn it. Just for the sake of trying to humanize ourselves. We're trying to find a way to make ourselves seem normal to other people, and in the same time contradicting, telling them that we different. No, that's still yearning people. Sometimes I think we all need to get to the point we say fuck humans at some point. Let's make them get on our level based on we change the world by changing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Just leading by example. Thank you so much for the donation, David Chatty. You say, yo, I was wondering that wisdom could be specifically used for persuasion. Oh, I think I seen that. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for the donation, love, Jade. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Yeah, but see, and that's why it's important that you have your actual life so you can have experiences. Because here's the thing, INFJs are extroverted introverted. So if this is how we're able to dive deep, like this is how we able to tell the difference of a person online all the time, or if they're using online for things in their real life. Because look, for me, example, I'm a content creator. Let's say I say something, right? That might be negative, right? Now here's the thing. I would know the difference between a person saying, ooh, who he talking about, and then they're going to look at everybody online, and then the difference between somebody be like, oh, this is spicy, but don't take it personal at all. Because here's the thing. From the INFJ mind, we extroverted, introverted. So when we online, you might think I'm extroverted, right? But see, this is why I always say understand real life. So if you're watching me, you're able to allow the INFJ to spot what kind of person you is based upon how you react to what we saying. Here's why. Because and thank you so much for the donation. Insight 11. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Because here's the thing. When it comes into what the INFJ, what the person is expressing and things of that nature. Now, a lot of times, I could be going, well, all the time, I'm going through something behind closed doors, regular people and stuff like that, because we're dealing with people all the time. So, I might leave a post, right? If a person react like they're trying to look for someone else online, that let me know this person is self-reflecting, but in a way that they may not know if I was to have a conversation with them. The way I'm looking at it is from a different angle. I'm looking at it like this. For you to look at it like it's automatically someone else online, you're self-reflecting that I'm a person that's always online. So in your mind, you're in a type of situation where it's almost like the INFJ is able to put themselves in your shoes and be like, okay, this is a person who have not a lot going on in their actual life. So everything that they got going on is things that's online. So the reason why the INFJ is able to separate them type of people who's flaunt and people who probably got actual lives is because the INFJ understand that people have actual lives. So if a person is not able to separate online and real life, that lets you know that this person is actually just self-reflecting what they only familiar with, being online. So in their mind, they don't have another thought but it being about somebody online and things of that nature. And then the INFJ will read that from a distance to see if this is even a type of person that's intelligent enough, that if they're self-aware. You see what I'm saying? Because the INFJ is this what you need to understand. We're introverted. So if you one of these type of people that's online and you always think people online and stuff like that, here's why you're able to get read like that. Because what you're not understanding is you're watching someone online, but you're not in their real life. AKA, this is my real life where I'm at online. I'm by myself. You see what I'm saying? So in your mind, you just think everything a party because you always online. So you just think a person, you're not even thinking about it like that. You're just thinking about everything together. And you make up things in your own mind. Like, oh, this person always around people doing that. But when you always watching me, you're not thinking about it like that. You're not thinking about you're watching somebody alone. See what I'm saying? So really, if the live stream wasn't on, you're just really listening to someone who talk to themselves. And since it's people in those type of positions, they know how to talk to themselves real good. So when you're thinking about an INFJ, you're just thinking about someone who didn't thought themselves out of reality, basically. You know what I'm saying? They didn't thought themselves into some train of thought and line of reasoning on what does it mean to even have a human interaction. Beyond having a human interaction, what does it mean to even participate? What does it mean to even breathe? An INFJ forget to breathe for real. If they go too deep, they start judging breathing like they don't breathe and separate themselves from breathing. Like everything is third party. Like for real. Like an INFJ start thinking about what is breathing and go through all the scenarios on what it mean to breathe. So we'll start thinking like. Okay, a person only breathe like this because of this. Person breathe like that because they breathe because of this. You know what I'm saying? So do I even want to breathe like that? So I want to make sure every scenario I'm in, I don't want to look like I'm a person who breathes like that. I want to make sure I'm a person who don't look like I breathe like that. And breathing ain't got shit to do with nothing. But that's how deep. So the INFJs start feeling ashamed that they know how everybody breathe. So a INFJ will be thinking that they have to take responsibility for how everybody breathing. So after INFJ, we'd be like, all right, we'll create this perfect character of breathing that don't rub nobody the wrong way. And if a negative situation happen, all the ins and out of what to do, all the other ways to breathe to get out the situation. And let me remind you, we talking about breathing right now. It's that deep. You just had that thought with me. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Welcome to the bottom of the Terry's Mood and shit like that. I'm telling you, deep though. And you might learn something about breathing if you have a conversation with us. Don't end up feeling like we weird after a while when we reach that comfort zone of we start to have that conversation with you behind closed doors. We thought we could trust you. We thought you thought that deep too. Because once upon a time, we had a conversation about, you said something about mantra and breathing. Automatically, we thought we found somebody that connected with us. Then once we got into this conversation about breath, we can't find you no more. Where you at? Somewhere hating on us, copying us, but in a lower vibrational way. And no further than that, though, I love all y'all for the bottom of my heart. Real shit.